Hey guys, check this out. Check out how that flame chain lights up. Man, look at that, man. Just looks freaking cool, doesn't it? Hey guys, on the channel today, I'm checking out Hasbro's recent retro re-release of the Ghost Rider action figure. Check this out, okay? This is vintage 90s style Ghost Rider right here. The release of this thing, has got me flashing back a lot to the 90s, at the time when Ghost Rider was really at its peak, okay? Now, throughout the years, I've always felt that Ghost Rider as a character has always been successful because of his visual appeal, okay? I mean, you've got a guy with a flaming skull riding a motorbike. Hell, man, that's just freaking awesome, okay? No matter how you spin it. But somehow, when it came to the comic books, I felt that writers have always struggled, okay? Struggled to create something that's really captivating and fresh for the character. That's why even until today, all right, they keep restarting the books over and over again. Actually, you know what? Right now, I'm not really sure if there's currently a Ghost Rider book in publication, but I think that in the 90s especially, that's when we saw this boom in Ghost Rider, as a comic book character. But it fizzled out really fast because the stories, while being visually appealing, like I said, relied a lot on the use of supporting characters. I think to really flesh out the story, like Blade, Mobius, the Night Stalkers team. Ghost Rider by himself, I somehow feel that they've never really managed to make him interesting enough to keep readers coming back over and over again. But if you ever liked anything about the Ghost Rider of the 90s, this retro set, which homages the classic old school Toy Biz figure, is gonna bring you screaming right back. Now, somehow the flame chain accessory gets a special mention at the top of the card. Just the flame chain, not really any of the other stuff. But he does come with a whole bunch of additional stuff too, like alternate hands, flame effects, and an alternate Johnny Blaze human head that's in terrifying mid transformation. The back of the card replicates the classic 90s style text and illustrations as well, and you get a piece of artwork showing you how everything attaches to the figure. The text description of the character reads, wielding supernatural abilities and weapons from the back of his flaming motorcycle, Ghost Rider roams the mortal world as the spirit of vengeance. And then the same line is repeated 4 times in multiple languages because this thing is going out globally. Now, in 2007, when I was with film distribution and working for Sony Pictures Malaysia, I worked on the release of the live action Ghost Rider film, the one with Nicolas Cage. And I gotta tell you, honestly, man, I freaking love that movie, okay? It's like one of the ultimate guilty pleasures for me. It's corny, it's cheesy, okay, but it just works on so many levels. It's like going back to a time when movies, comic book movies like these were actually fun, okay, right? It has that vibe, right? And I must have watched it like about, I don't know, 3 times, even before it was released to screens because of work and stuff like that, the previews. And I already went into it knowing that it was like going to be a mega hit, okay? And sure enough, the movie was a massive blockbuster all across the world. International audiences embraced it. It was a huge hit here in Malaysia as well. And I can still watch it today, okay? And still feel that, hey man, this thing is just freaking entertaining. And you know what? A big part of the film's success was the fact that it was not built as a comic book movie. A lot of people didn't really make the connection between Ghost Rider and like something from the comics, okay? It was just built as a supernatural fantasy action adventure. And also at the time, Nicolas Cage was still pretty much a big brand name, as an action star. So, the combination of factors just worked, okay? So yeah, that first Ghost Rider movie, still one of the great movies for me when it comes to comic book films. Not the second one though, okay? That one, man, the second one is just fucking crap. Okay, just skip that. Okay, entirely. Now I still have the original theatrical poster. Okay, of the film from my time working on it, and it's been a while since I actually took a look at it. But check this thing out. Okay, check this out. Okay, right, it's the Ghost Rider right here. You see, it says here, long ago, he made a deal to save someone he loved. And then you get a shot there of Nicolas Cage and Eva Mendes staring at you intensely. Below, you got a shot of the Ghost Rider standing beside his flaming motorcycle. Man, that's all you need, okay? So simplistic. You don't get like a million floating heads, okay, of every character that appears in the movie. That's what happens these days with film posters. Now, one thing that I noticed is that the card back on this is super sturdy, okay? I mean, just look at the size and thickness of this thing, okay? All right, look at that, all right? It's just really sturdy. It's none of that floppy stuff that you get with, sometimes like even the Star Wars card backs, those bend very easily. Not so here, okay? And I think that this is a trend with most of their retro re-releases, even the Hasbro Ghostbusters stuff, the real Ghostbusters stuff that they put out like about 2 years ago, the cutbacks on those were really strong as well. And you know what? I think that he looks really great in package like this. The one thing, okay, that I have a problem with is the way that they actually displayed his legs. Okay, why, why are they sort of like displayed like they're spread open like these? Okay, like he's supposed to be riding on a bike, but the set doesn't come with a bike. So what's up? Okay, I think that's the one thing that I'll probably have it changed about him being displayed in package like this. Other than that, I think he looks fantastic. It's going to be a shame to rip him open, but we're going to do it, guys. Definitely. And he's out. Now, I do wish the card back was a bit more collector friendly in a way that doesn't require you having to slice open the bubble. But what are you going to do, right? Out of the package, and the first thing you'll want to do is get him out of that ridiculous squat pose. By the way, the figure translates really well in capturing the classic Johnny Blaze look. Everything from the leather jacket all the way down to those super tight pants. I mean, it just doesn't get more heavy metal than this. Now, adding to the fun is the fact that he gets an articulated jaw. This is in fact the second human-bodied figure I'm handling this year that features a moving jaw. The other one being the Skeletor from the 40th anniversary Masters of the Universe set. Okay, this jaw is great, right? It allows you to actually have him sort of like laughing or just, closed mouth and staring at you grimly. I like this. However, I do have to say that the neck joint somehow, the head on this neck joint feels a little bit loose. I don't know why. I mean, they may be taking the skeleton concept a little bit too far. I like this upper chest rocker that he's got. Yeah, this thing is just great. Allows you to sort of like, rock his body backwards like this, have him with his arms outstretched, maybe like he's rolling down the street on a motorcycle, his head tilted back, and he's just laughing demonically. Yeah, Ghost Rider, Ghost Rider stuff. Now, the rest of the figure is pretty much standard Marvel Legends articulation, but when I look at the Ghost Rider, I'm reminded a lot of those mid 2000s toy-based Marvel Legends figures, okay, maybe like series 2 to 5 or something like that. At that time, they were putting out a lot of these figures on very thin bodies, right? Sometimes the heroes were not supposed to be that thin, but they were all using like a pretty much standard body type. I remember the Daredevil, man, one of the Daredevil figures, the early ones, was like so freaking thin. The joints would just crack if you tried to move him. Okay, the same thing happened with the Black Widow figure as well. I think she was like series 8 or something like that. I just tried moving her elbows around and those things would just crack, okay, because whatever was holding up those joints were like really, really fragile. But almost 20 years later, they seem to have perfected it. I mean, this figure may be skeleton thin, but all the joints here are really tight, except for that neck joint, okay, like I mentioned earlier. The head was a little bit loose, okay, but the rest of him is just great. Okay, he gets a translucent, flaming head, right? This thing looks fantastic. If you light it up from the back like this, yeah, it's got a really cool effect. Check this out. Also getting a lot of buzz is the flame chain. I can't remember, is it because there wasn't a flame chain actually offered in the original Ghost Rider figure that came out way back when? But I kind of wish that this thing was a metal chain or metallic, all right? But as it is, I suppose there's no way for them to really incorporate like the flame effects that easily if it was anything heavier. This thing is flexible. It's not posable, all right? But you can move it around. I guess you can position it, to some degree when Ghost Rider is holding it up. And what's great also is, if you light it up, right, you get a light source running through it, and yeah, the effect here just looks really great. If you could have the figure just positioned, entirely on some sort of a light base, okay, with a source of light from underneath it, wow, this thing is just really gonna pop. Now, speaking of popping, you can also remove his hands, okay, pop them right out, and get those skeleton hands in there, all right, those bony Ghost Rider skeleton hands. You can also get the flame effects on them, right? Check this thing out, okay? Like he's about ready to just blast the hell out of some kind of like, fiendish netherworld demon. And lastly, okay, you get the Johnny Blaze head. Okay, check this thing out, right? This guy is like in mid transformation from human to demon, right? Just pop it right in there. And yeah, this thing looks good, okay. It's also got a light up, back section here. His flames light up, right, on the back of his head. Yeah, this thing looks great. I kind of wish that they had given us a normal Johnny Blaze head though, right? Just like a non-demonized head. just a normal human head. But maybe the demand wasn't there for that. Maybe they just thought that, look, nobody wants to see that. Okay, they just want to see hellfire, right? I don't know. But either way, I have to say that I'm pretty happy with this figure. It's great. It's a great homage to the classic Ghost Rider figure. Everything from the packaging to the actual figure itself and the accessories that it comes with. Did you get this figure? If you're a Ghost Rider fan, I think that there's a lot for you to be happy with here. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think of the video, and I'll catch you guys again real soon with more content. Thank you and take care out there.